This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. On Sunday, June 12th, Nassau Cruise Port welcomed 20,210 passengers and celebrated 1 year since the restart of cruising to Nassau began. Adventure of the Seas, a Voyager-class vessel operated by Royal Caribbean International, was the first cruise ship to call on Nassau after the major cruise lines voluntarily shut down the industry in March of 2020 due to the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. The highly anticipated visit, which took place on June 12, 2021, was the second cruise ship call made in the North American area and Caribbean region since the shutdown. This year, Nassau Cruise Port welcomed 6 ships on the same date as the 2021 restart: Norwegian Sky, Carnival Conquest, Carnival Magic, Carnival Freedom, and 2 Royal Caribbean vessels, Freedom of the Seas and Independence of the Seas. Mike Morrow Jr., CEO of Nassau Cruise Port Limited, is describing his team's excitement in achieving this milestone, said they could not have asked for a better way to commemorate the restart of cruising than a 6-ship day with over 20,000 passengers in port. He said so far this year, they have welcomed 553 calls with more than 1.8 million passengers visiting Nassau since June of 2021. Aqualina, the new multi-million-dollar ultra-luxurious beachfront development located just minutes away from Bahamas Resort on Cable Beach, is made up of 27 beachfront residences standing 11 stories tall. The $100 million condo development, which is now 60% sold out, is attracting buyers from Europe, Canada, and the United States. Now, with inflation being experienced throughout the world, Aqualina developer Jcn says they too have challenges due to the impact of high prices while in pre-construction phase of building the new condominiums. However, he said there has been some relief.
Yeah, there's definitely been an impact. There's no denying that. Concrete prices have increased. Unfortunately, we have been able to offset our price increases through increasing the prices of our products. People are seeing value, they are seeing scarcity. I think this is probably the busiest time that I've seen in the Bahamas for real estate. As you're looking at some of the more desirable communities, there's very little inventory, and that's been helping us as well. I am seeing prices actually coming down. Wood prices are decreasing, drywall prices are decreasing, so by the time we get into the finished stages of the project, I think we'll be in pretty good shape by then.
During a site visit on Tuesday, Prime Minister Philip Davis, along with other cabinet ministers, got the opportunity to tour the construction site. In his response to the multi-million-dollar project being constructed in the Cable Beach area, Prime Minister Davis says with 60% of the condo already sold, the economic impact is a positive one.
Well, it's already having its impact. As you would have heard, 60% of the condos have already been sold. What does that mean? It means that we will be getting our VAT on those sales. We hope to see those purchasers visiting and putting heads in beds here and shopping, which again puts more into the economy. I came to see what Jcn has done. Did a wonderful job with one cable, as you can see, and he's now doing the Aqualina. I know he had a lot of challenges getting it off the ground, so I'm happy to see that he is where he is in the project. That's why I came to see.
With this project on stream and another set to begin just after the completion of Aqualina, Prime Minister Davis says that economic impacts will make room for many employment opportunities.
Because as construction starts and these people are at work, the economic impact is huge. They'll be employing at least 100 persons or more to this project, and then thereafter there would be at least 60 permanent employees or more, because the condo would be going in, will be a condo hotel. The purchasers will allow some of their properties to be used as a hotel. That requires employees. And what we see is a win-win situation for the Bahamas. So I'm here to encourage and continue to let Jcn, who is a Bahamian, know that we are supporting him, and we will continue to do so.
The third project to be constructed will be just east of Aqualina's condominiums. As it stands right now, anyone who has a private vehicle driver's license can qualify to drive huge commercial vehicles, from tractor trailers and dump trucks to cement trucks and garbage trucks. But in the very near future, that will be a thing of the past, as you will need to have a special license. We hear more in this next report. Without the transport of people, goods, and materials like food, fuel, and building supplies, access to these things would be very difficult. Transport of these goods often require the use of large vehicles like tractor-trailers, flatbeds, box trucks, and buses. And up to this point, anyone with a private vehicle driver's license could get behind the wheel of one of these large vehicles without training. We told you in a previous report that this will soon come to an end, as the government will require individuals to have a commercial driver's license. And according to Mrs. Ethelyn Davis, chairman of the Motor Vehicle Training School, this will also open the door for more women to enter the industry.
It's a really good industry. The industrial industry has a lot of females. A lot of them I know do not think that they fit in the driving side of things. And we want to encourage females from all levels. We have females that work in garbage trucks now, that work hauling flatbeds, cargo from the docks. So there are a few women out there that are in the hauling and trucking industry. And it might encourage others now to get on board, to know that, hey, the industry was started by a female, and others can join in the industry and at many different levels.
If you are a female or a male new to the industry and want to obtain a commercial vehicles driver's license from the Road Traffic Department, you would have to complete the 8-week training program at the Motor Vehicle Training School that involves both in-class theory and on-the-road practical sessions. Mrs. Davis explained the various levels of classification for a commercial license.
Class A covers tractor-trailer truck, a capacity of 10,000 or more pounds. You have the oil tankers that would fit in the Class A category as well. In addition to 1 or 2 heavy-duty wreckers, they would fit in the Class A category. The Class B category is 26,001 pounds and towing less than 10,000 pounds. Some examples of that are cement trucks, garbage trucks, box trucks, flatbeds, the smaller wreckers. Those would fit in the Class B category. The Class C category, that's 10,000 pounds, and buses that transport passengers. You have some examples are the jitneys, the taxis, the tour buses. And then you have vehicles that carry hazardous materials that fall in the Class C category.
Some residents like Ray Morrison Jr. like the idea of commercial driver's licenses, and he feels it will weed out some of the aggressive drivers who endanger the lives of other motorists and pedestrians.
Yeah, sometimes moving about in traffic is kind of off-putting, kind of scary to drive next to them. A lot of times the guys who drive them it's almost like they don't really have care for anybody else any other motorists on the road. Sometimes it's a bit intimidating to drive next to them on the highways. For such a sizable vehicle, a lot of people drive them really fast too, at like a high velocity. So it's a bit intimidating when you see them on the road. I feel like they could probably regulate it a bit better, or look into how they could probably try to mitigate the way they drive so recklessly, or probably give them classes or something like that. Or you could have like a special type of license or training for driving trucks or vehicles of that size.
Currently, the training sessions at the Motor Vehicle Training School on Claridge Road are voluntary, but will soon become mandatory in order to apply and qualify for a commercial driver's license from the Road Traffic Department. The National Organization for Development, or NOD, and Connections International, along with its nonprofit arm, the Marriage Children Family Alliance Movement, MCFAM, is launching the Bahamas Strong Families Forever, BSFF, campaign 2022-2023 in partnership with the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development and the Crisis Center under the theme, My Family Health Equals Our National Health. Cheryl Walking-Alexander, Principal Organizer, Development Consultant for the organization, details the importance of this campaign.
We are very, very excited about launching our campaign for this year. We are announcing to the public about their need to get involved in this movement to cultivate happy families. Many times in the society we don't recognize that we are actually sometimes fostering what we call hate, and that obviously breeds misery rather than happiness. And so we want to cultivate happy families, and we want to share with persons how they can be intentional about being happy within their families.
Ms. Walking Alexander further explains why fathers are the central focus of this year's campaign.
We've started the campaign earlier this year, and we are starting with in the time of fathers, because one of the things that we find in society that brings a lot of sadness is the fatherlessness in our homes. And we want to celebrate fathers. We want to let them know that we need them. We need them in the homes, and however we can try to develop the relationship with those persons within the homes so that the fathers can play a bigger role and play the role that they are intended to play in terms of being co-leaders in the home. We want to do that, and we want to tell them we love them and we need them. Women cannot do it alone. God intended for us to work together, and that is what this campaign is all about.
Dr. Jacinda Higgs, the former director of the Department of Gender and Family Affairs, says this initiative is a critical one. She notes that during her tenure as director, a greater focus was placed on the women in crisis, and rightfully so. However, now she notes that a greater effort is needed to strengthen family units across the country.
The family structure is critical. At the heart of the family structure is not only the framework for the family and the structure of the family, but there are the mandates, there are the roles, whether they're spiritual and or social and psychological roles and responsibilities for every member of the family, but it only could work together as a family. And that's why in the Bahamas, historically, the extended families are so critical for us, the Grammy, the aunts, the uncles, etc. And so it is important so that we can function effectively to mitigate or reduce crime. That's why the family structure is needed. It is to support one another, so the mother is not overburdened on one end with certain chores, and then the father may be absent, or he may be overburdened with the financial. So family structures are important to bring the whole unit together to work efficiently. That's number one.
The two-day symposium will be held on the 27th and 28th of June at Superclub's Breezes. All interested individuals are asked to contact NOD on social media or the Department of Gender and Family Affairs at 397-8641 or 397-8600. And finally, several leaders and dignitaries paying their respects to the family of the late Dr. Eugene Newry, who lied in repose at Bethel Brothers Funeral Home today. Dr. Newry served the nation as a diplomat, educator, and neurosurgeon. Leading the list of dignitaries were Governor General Sir Cornelius A. Smith and Prime Minister Philip Davis, who spoke about Dr. Newry's role in being a pioneer of the progressive movement of the Bahamas.
He's quite a trailblazer for the rights of Bahamians and equalities and the opportunity for Bahamians to be whatever they want to be in their country. And so this is a sad day for those of us who would appreciate the history from where we came, also quite involved in that history, because he is one of the last man standing in the struggle from those years.
Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, Bahamas Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernandez, also paying tribute to the man who gave himself to his country.
Many people know of his contribution to medicine and of course his contribution to diplomacy and the diplomatic corps. But he was a great Bahamian who loved his country, who contributed significantly, and who inspired others to be good Bahamians. I am confident that the Bahamas is well off and better off because he was here and he made his contributions.
We thank God for Dr. Newry, that one, he gave of himself as a physician, someone who went into a field and an area that helped so many of us with neurosurgery. And then he took on a national position to help our country. This is what being a Bahamian is all about.
Acting Commissioner Clayton Fernandez and representatives of the United States Embassy were also among those paying their respects this morning. And that'll do it, folks, for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.